This is N5ZKZ again. What I have for you today, nice little filter. Vectronics 820 CW filter. Works fantastic. One slight little problem that I think that they could have addressed at the when they made the kit. Power switch is on the back. The only way to hook it up with is a 9-volt battery. My problem is I keep forgetting to turn them off. I turn off my station power, and this is the one thing that I have that's not on station power, so I always forget to turn it off. Next time I want to use it, I've got a dead battery. You see, I've got plenty of room inside the case for some mods, so I've come up with a little mod, and we'll show you what that is. Okay, what I have here is a little power supply board. This made just as small as I can get it. It's about 1 inch by 1 inch. Designed it on EagleCAD. Had it boards made by Batch PCB in Boulder, Colorado. Takes a while to get in. You see here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, actually 7 components. I got these two tied together. So what this is an adjustable power supply, adjusted by R2 up here in the corner by my finger, from about 3 volts to whatever my input voltage is, all the way up to about 32 volts, something like that. But my power supply here, 13.8 volts DC, and so it's going to be a maximum of 13.8 volts DC. This filter takes 9 volts, and I don't have 9 volts coming out of my power supply over there. My little homebrew station here, I can get pretty much anything out of it, but for this purpose here, I want to be able to put 13.8 volts DC into it and power this at 9 volts DC without cooking it. The other thing that this is going to go into as well, as you see I've got a couple of boards here, is I have a hi-per-mite 20 from Small Wonders Labs. That operates at 13.8 volts DC. I have the hi-per-mite filter from 4-Stage QRP Club, and I want to see how this thing's going to work. But that works at 9 volts DC. You can actually see it here if you, well, I can't get in there. Works at 9 volts DC. This works at 13.8 volts DC. I am going to get this thing put together, and we're going to see how it works. I've put this thing together using an adjustable power supply regulator right here. And yeah, I could have gotten a 7809 9-volt regulator and put in there, but my goal here was to be able to make a small add-in module. You can put in any radio, filter, anything that you're working on, power a breadboard with it, whatever, that you can adjust for whatever voltage you need. So instead of having this board for a 6-volt or a 5-volt TTL project, and then another board for a 9-volt project, and then another board for a 13.8 volt project, one board, adjustable, can mount it in anything, set the voltage, and you're done. So we're going to put this thing together and see how it works. Okay, this took me a grand total of about 5 minutes to get put together, and that's it. The little potentiometer here on the side is what adjusts the voltage. You can see, if you can see, I'm feeding it with, I got it at 13.44 volts at the moment, and I am running right at 9 volts. So that is going to mount up inside of here rather nicely. So all that is just a very small miniature power supply. You can run this with a wall wart, you can run this with off your car battery, whatever, and adjust it just by adjusting this guy here. You can simply adjust it to whatever voltage you need. That takes away from having to have a different design and a different board for different voltages. You can have one single little PCB and have whatever voltage you want. Okay, so now we have everything installed in the filter. It's permanent mounting. See, I've got it hooked up. I have gone ahead and added my power plug for it, and that goes to my 13.8 volt power supply. Now, get this thing hooked up and give it the final test, and we'll see that with the filter on, in the first step, you see how much noise it's cut out. That means that my little power supply is working just fine. And you can also see that this little Vectronics CW audio filter here works very nicely. I think it could have been a little bit better executed, but it works nicely. Cuts out, that's out, that's in. Cuts out an awful lot of noise. So, there you have it. Little power supply module that can be mounted in virtually any enclosure, and you can see just how small this enclosure is. It measures 1 inch by 1 inch roughly, and with this heatsink on here, this thing should handle, I believe it was 1.5 amps. I'm not pulling nowhere near that, but again, my goal was to make one power supply unit that could power a multitude of items without having 4 or 5 or 6 different little power supply units, little regulator units. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed it.